Welcome to the first ever language acquisition blog newscast. I'm Kanji Keith, reporting from Japan, and I'm going to present this week's blog post on language acquisition. The first blog post this month was at Women Learning Thai and some men too. The post title is Linguistic and Developmental Underpinnings of Language Acquisition and was written by Dr. Daniel T. Murphy. It starts off with how you learn languages. And yes, that's what it says, how you learn languages. Besides the glaringly obvious flaw in the first sentence, the rest of the post is written quite well. The post is actually about how he learned Thai, mostly through immersion, which included watching a couple of thousand hours of TV when he stayed in Thailand, and as well as conversing a lot, which he apparently had no trouble finding conversation partners since he mentions dating 3 Thai women. The biggest factor in his ability to learn Thai is the amount of time he has put into it. He's been learning Thai since his first visit to Thailand in 2002, and he estimates he has spent 15,000 hours in the language. Next, there was a post over at Language Fixation about vocab versus grammar. The blog owner is using the name Doviende to publish his post, and in this one, he refers to a debate on how to learn any language forum. He agrees with someone who said that most kids and adults can speak well without understanding the underlying grammar rules. However, Doviende says the grammar rules are not underlying, rather they are overlaying. He goes on to say, grammar rules are an artificial construction and are not necessary for learning the language. Moving on, there was a post by Benny on Fluent in 3 months. The title of the post pretty much sums up his language learning philosophy: don't just stand there, say something. This post came at the end of his 8-week stay in Thailand. While in Thailand, he had challenged himself to learn to read the Thai script and speak the 5 tones correctly, so that a Thai person would be able to understand him reading several sentences out loud. He aimed to speak basic to lower intermediate Thai in the 8 weeks of his stay. In this post, he has a video of himself speaking to some locals in Thailand at various locations, which he made on his last weekend in Thailand. It looks like he orders some food and discusses prices. The video is less than 2 minutes long, but in his post, Benny honestly tells his audience that before that weekend he never said more than a few words in Thai, and that he had to do a lot of editing to create a video that shows him speaking Thai. I believe this is another one of Benny's missions not accomplished. He did not even show himself reading anything in Thai. That's all I will comment about that. Let's move on to the next article. From ScienceDaily.com, we find that Homo bonobo apes can learn to point. These apes were reared in an environment where language was spoken and learned from their caretakers pointing. After reading that article, I read a related article and found that these apes can actually communicate and negotiate with humans. They understand spoken language. It's amazing. Up next, there was a YouTube video in French posted by Steve Kaufman. I believe the title asks, "Is it necessary to correct errors?" Anyway, it's in French and I've yet to understand that language, so let's move on. Another article from ScienceDaily.com states that a study shows no evidence of babies learning words from educational DVDs. While this may be quite true, this is another poorly conducted research experiment. Let me tell you why. First of all, the experiment lasted only 6 weeks. 6 weeks is too short of a time to draw any conclusions. Their expectations must be way too high. The article does not tell us anything about the words and the DV was trying to teach. Are these words within the reach of the baby's grasp? Also, it is not clear from the article whether the parents were more or less involved with their children. I could continue to point out more factors to consider. Let me conclude just by summarizing that, as you can see, there are too many factors and influences to take into account, and you cannot expect to measure the impact that watching a DVD might have after only 6 weeks. The article quotes the conclusion of the research, which does not make a decision, but rather suggests future research should continue to examine whether and how parents can use these DVDs effectively to teach their young children. Moving on, we find that Chris, the Mandarin student, has posted a link to archive.org where you can find old Chinese movies to download. Next, Steve Kaufman brought our attention to homeschooling and the fact that homeschooling is illegal in Germany. In his next post, Steve asserts that one reason Japanese struggle with English is because they don't spend enough time reading books. Steve asks Japanese people who tell him they can read English well but just can't speak when the last time was that they read a book in English. The answer he usually gets is never. Then Steve came out with a short post entitled, "Is German Ugly?" The German language is not being studied as much anymore in France. Steve believes people will like the language if they can just get somewhere in it. Steve notes that when he stopped focusing on grammar, he was able to enjoy German and make progress. In the last line of the post, he stated that he suspects it is the teachers who kill the fun in language learning classes in France. That statement started a war in the comments. On March 4th, Steve announced that he and Benny are planning on having a discussion about language learning. They will talk about their difference in approach. That wraps up this week's Language Acquisition Blog News. This is a new feature of Kanji Keith's YouTube channel. Please support Kanji Keith. Thank you for watching. Bye.